What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we want to talk about review codes, because this whole IGN situation with them, reportedly not getting a review code, and also the fact that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a live service game and the servers aren't turned on, has taken an interesting turn. And there's something I wanted to go ahead and point out very carefully, because if we don't point it out, we're going to miss the mark. I've seen some people argue that these companies should be getting a review code, and some people have made the very straightforward and sensible argument, in my opinion anyways, that no one is entitled to a review code, which is very true. And many of you know my position on reviews. After I saw the way these reviewers were very careless with Gotham Knights, of which, yes, it was a game that many people wanted to already take a stab at, they did a poor job, and then the game basically got thrown in shambles because they didn't know how to play the game, or they wanted an Arkham game. So for me, they were a wash for the most part. But I don't necessarily think that those are the issues that I want to point out today. There is something more important, and that is many people are not seeing this IGN issue in the light that I think gamers should be seeing it in, which is, if these guys get these review codes and these review codes are being withheld from them and seemingly they're complaining about it, then what is actually the core of the issue? The issue is they gain a benefit from it. They get to play the game, put out videos ahead of everybody else, and gain views. Even the preview that they did with some of the content creators in the community, the IGN video has netted a lot more views that could easily pay for a review code. So it's not necessarily the code, it's the time that they get the code. So I think people who are saying things like, well, reviewers should be able to get these codes so that they can help inform the consumers, I think you're misguided in a sense. And I'm not saying this to dog on you, but I'm saying you're probably doing something that you shouldn't be doing, which is giving away your possible benefit to somebody else to make a judgment about a game that they're more than likely not even concerned about or care for. Which is why I think instead of gamers to be saying, oh, the reviewers should get the code, or no one is entitled to a code, we should be asking the publishers to start dropping demos, alphas, betas for the games that they're releasing to the gamers. I think this is a better approach, and I've always argued for this approach. And people always push back and shut me down and say, well, it's going to take a lot of time away from development. I call bull to that. You're trying to sell me a product of which the tradition of selling this product in the past has been by giving me a sample of what this product is going to be like. A slice, a playable demo, a little preview, something that I can get my hands on, because gameplay is about game feel. It's not just about what I see. Yes, that is partially it, but how the game feels. And a demo being 15 minutes long doesn't have to be 15 minutes of game time, but 15 minutes of you spending time in the game can also do that for you. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that till this day, if you actually go on Steam, you can see demos for 2 of Rocksteady's former games? Let me show you right here. If you go on the Steam page for Batman Arkham City, there's a small spot here where you can download a demo for Batman Arkham City. Interesting, innit? In fact, if we actually go to Arkham Asylum, go to its store page, you also see that you can download the demo for this game. So this is Rocksteady that I'm actually pointing to, and it's something they've done by tradition. But what's crazy is even they themselves, for a live service game, were able to give us a taste of that game in the form of a demo or a pre-alpha or whatever they wanted to call it, an alpha or whatnot, a closed, test, or, whatever you want to categorize it as. But this was actually very interesting, because at the end of the day, do you know what they actually did? They went ahead and they made it possible where players who were actually engaging in the content could invite other players to come play. Each person could invite up to 5 people. So this is crazy because it worked out for them. Do you not see what happened there? They did the one thing that many gaming companies have not been doing for the longest time. Not all. Capcom's been giving Resident Evil demos and stuff too. We could point to that example. But then somehow when the previews hit the hands of the reviewers, who couldn't care about the game at all for the most part, they realized that these reviewers are out here with an agenda, so they lifted the NDA, and the so-called demos basically saved their hide. So how come we, the gamers, whom the game is being made for, the game is being marketed to, how come we are not demanding the one thing that would be the end all be all in terms of determining how we're going to engage with the game, or at least provide I would say a better decisive or material aspect of the game that many people can make their decision off of? So whether or not IGN or Polygon or whoever gets a code, I couldn't care about that, because that code is a free benefit to them. That code can influence their decision to maybe somehow swing positive on the game that I may not like. Because if you think about it right now, here's the ramifications of this. Next time that they make another game, IGN is going to fall in line. It's just going to happen organically. The next person is going to be like, whoops, I don't want to make Warner Brothers mad. When in reality, if they give us a demo, it wouldn't even matter at all. We can make the decision for ourselves once we test out what the game is going to look like. Now, thankfully, places like Steam, places like Epic Games allow for you to be able to refund a game within 3 hours. But at the end of the day, that's a whole different conversation. That's say, oh, maybe the game is bugged out. Maybe you were expecting the game. Maybe you wanted to see something about the game, but we can't necessarily keep, sitting on these methodologies. Games like Tekken gives you a long demo. Games like Street Fighter, you get a demo. But for the most part, it seems like a lot of these publishers have basically relied on a lot of these gaming journalists. But now that we're seeing that, hey, man, we as the gamers, we've been able to show them the advantage of us getting to get our hands on the game. We need to keep our foot on that gas pedal so that we continue making the request that I think is sensible, number one, for the consumer, and at least for them, at the worst, or if say nothing is gotten out of it, beneficial for the gamer. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.